folks, what you're getting ready to witness here is a modern man moving a tree around the yard with his little Jeep Liberty. Some might say he's crazy. Some might say he's lost his mind. Some might say that dinging you hear is the back window still open because he forgot to shut it, or did he forget to shut it? I think his actions were intentional. This is the tree that he had cut down last week or so, and it's currently in his way. So the goal is to move it out of his way so he can work on Big Mo. This is a rather large tree, and he wants to chain it around about here. Now, just because you see my lips moving doesn't mean that I'm doing the voiceover. Maybe I'm just lip syncing. But what I'm going to do is take the chainsaw and cut a little bit of an angle there so I can drag this, let's just call it, to the limbing and processing pile with my Jeep Liberty. Please start. Please don't embarrass me, chainsaw. Now somebody said I needed to adjust this so it won't bog, but it's cold. Now that this young man has a sharpened saw, let's see if it cuts any better. I'm back, guys. I couldn't be that guy. That's not me. But, I'm hoping. Let's see if the Jeep can pull this. That's a pretty hefty tree. No doubt. We shall see. Might be a little much. It's a good sized tree. That's all the traction I got. That's all she can do. It actually did better than I thought. We'll lighten it up a little bit. Come on. Quit. Tell you, when you try cross-cutting that stuff at an angle like I did, it acts pretty dull. But when you cross-cut, works good. Let's see if I can get this to move with this. The rest of this should be very much lighter. We'll get this one and those two at the same time, I believe. Now, some of you might be asking yourself, why would you use your Jeep like that? Well, I'll ask you right back. Why wouldn't you? A spare tire in the back. Great spot to hang your chain. I think I can get around both of these. Now we got a big old walnut tree here. I just want to try and experiment because I'm gonna knock all these trees down, and I'm curious if they'll all pull like that tree did. That old Widowmaker hanging in the tree. Yeehaw! All right, kind of get an idea how that's going. Only a lot more of those trees to go. Let's go do something else. Well, let's get this kid out of here. I was within 2 inches that time. That ain't gonna move, so I gotta do some adjustamento. Okay. Looks like Big Mo could use a little air in the old tire, maybe. This thing was at 50% when I laid her down the other day. Let's see if it's got enough energy to top it off one more time. Then I'll need to recharge it probably. What do we got here? On 6 pounds. All right, folks, it's the next day. We had a little fun cutting down some trees. We saw what the old Jeeps, thought I stepped in something. There's always something to step in around here. Sometimes it might be a big giant hole with a stump in the middle of it. But we did a little bit of tree cutting, some dragging. And I moved some boats out of the lean-to because I'm trying to prepare the surgical ward for Big Mo. Big Mo's going underneath the knife. The knives look a lot like wrenches and sockets and ratchets. But we got a lot of work to do to them because of the leak that I developed underneath. Now my wife's going to be out here helping me before too long because I want to fire it up. I want to get the bucket off of it. I want to get positioned back into this lean-to. And as you can see, I emptied out these 2 stalls here so I can turn this thing in here sideways, or maybe I back into it. I'm not sure just yet. Probably backing into it might work. I don't know. I think that'll work. But we got to get him in here sideways because I'm going to remove the bucket to get that out of my way. I want to run these cylinders all the way up to the top so I can measure them for some braces that I want to make real quick to hold this thing up in the air so it don't fall down on me. And then also, we're going to pull the front tires off. We're going to pull the bearings out. We're going to pull the kingpin bushings out of both sides. We're just going to, let's just say we're going to attack everything on the front end until I get to that leak. And then whatever needs to be replaced, as I'm putting it back together, I'm going to replace so the front end of this thing, other than the engine and say water pump, are going to be rehabbed more or less. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to pull off some bolts on the bucket that I just put in not that long ago, and we'll commence with the ceremonies of putting in the position I want to put it in. All right, now we're going to fire it up. And I got to use some hydraulic pressure because I got to bring these back things up. That one's down. And I also got to pull the backhoe up. And while doing all that, I might be puking out some fluid back there, which I'm really concerned about. So I'm going to have my wife video and keep an eye on some things to see just how much oil are we losing. because I can always add some in as I go. But yeah, it just kind of sucks to lose any at all. But what we're going to do is dump the bucket inside of the front of the building here, up here, and then I can turn the tractor sideways so I got plenty of room, 270 degrees around the front end of it. So I'm going to put you on the wall over here. So you guys can kind of see what's going on. I think I'll go ahead and dump the oil I got in here into here. For Justin. You know who Justin is? Just in case. In this case, Justin Ford. It's not a case. See what I did there? She did. Sorry, guys. She's not as amused with my clever wit as the rest of you might be because she's been around it a while. Right, hon? Putting at least 3 quarts in here. Just so I don't want to run the pump out. I know how long I ran it once I discovered it, so I got not a lot of time to... Boy, that's way low. It might fill back up when I pull that rear cylinder up. All right, let's see what it does. It's scary. That's weird. She's giving me the signals there's nothing going on underneath there. I just worked all the hydraulics. Okay, so maybe it's not as severe, but I lost a lot of oil for some reason. And it was all coming out underneath the front end. Out. Huh? It's dripping up there? How bad? Drip, 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 or stream? Okay. So you saw it leaking?
Yeah. You can tell right here. It's running. You can tell out here.
Oh, I see. It's still up front here.
Yeah. It's wet.
Yeah. There's a hose up front, I'm sure. No, I just noticed this hose up here. It's broke off. The one that was leaking,
Where?
it's completely out right here. See the end of it?
Oh, yeah.
Not hooked to anything. On the right, kind of jiggle it forward. Okay. Watch me. Is it dripping right now?
Yes.
How bad? Like drip, 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 drip. Okay. What about now? Okay. What? Then it just started when I hit the limit.
I don't know. Now it's not doing nothing.
Well, pump ain't running.
Yeah, I know. But it had a foam, like the end of it or something.
A foam?
Uh-huh.
Means I'm low.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we got all the pressure off everything.
Okay.
And I think I can get to, yeah, all the bolts. So I can get this off, that off, the hood off. So I got access to the entire engine, front end, and yeah, I bet you she's down. Well, when you take those cylinders out, there's a lot of fluid going up into there. So I'm guessing I'm pretty empty, but I got to build my braces now that I'll put on here. And I can clamp it onto this cylinder to rest against here. So if it was to give out, it won't come out on me. All right, well, that was actually easier than I thought. Well, I apologize for the lighting. We're gonna get better lighting in here. I'll have my lights working. And as you can see, I took the bucket off, took this all the way up in the air, just so I could get, I got all this space to work now. I'm gonna bring a workbench out here so I can lay my tools out on it. But the next thing I gotta do is go get some angle iron out of the trunk of my car and see if I can make a thing to clamp onto here. Man, these cylinders are in great shape. Chrome is beautiful. Tell you what, there's no harder chrome I feel today than there was in 1975-ish era in the 70s, because you look at some of the chrome bumpers on some of the Cadillacs and different things, they put chrome on stuff. Today, I don't know what they're doing, but ain't as much chrome being made, that's for sure, I don't think. Maybe not. You guys tell me what you see. But yeah, we can now access, we'll get the grill off of here. We can get the hood. I'm not sure the hood's going to be in my way, but I got to pull all these counterweights off. Those have got to come off on these two over here and these two over here. Not so sure about the bottom one yet, but if I got to take the bottom one off, I will. Bottom ones, I think that one's supposed to be like 340 some pounds. These are anywhere from 100, 125 pounds each. So there's like 250 pounds on each side, 345. You know, it's close to 1,000 pounds of counterweight on the front end. And I don't know if you guys caught it on camera, but the front end with the backhoe out and down, you know, the front end gets really light. If you were to go uphill at all, this is a very slight grade out here. If I was going uphill at all, it would actually just, front end would just come right off the ground. But the nice thing is it's going to be easy enough to jack it up, because the other thing I'm going to do is get these tires out of my way. I got new tires coming. So a lot of you said, you know, just run tubes. These already have tubes in them, and one went flat. But they're a tubeless tire. So my goal, you know, people said, put tubes in them. You can run them for a lot more years. I don't disagree with you at all. But I also don't want this under stress and load to have the tire start separating on me. And then once it separates, the tube's not going to offer up a lot of integrity at that point. Yeah. It's going to cost me about $200 in hydraulic oil, I think, to fill it back up. I put at least 7 or 8 quarts in it. But the whole system and all the cylinders hold roughly 84 quarts. So by the time I'm done with all this, I will have flushed out a portion of it between the first cylinder blowout. And yeah, those hoses are expensive, and they get more expensive when you lose the oil. I'm also going to service that's a lot I'm going to do under here. I'm going to service the fuel filter. And we're actually going to probably going to pull the flooring out of here. Underneath there is 2 places to fill. There's a hydrostat, there's a transmission and a rear end oil that need to be changed. They're probably in good shape. The guy I got it from actually did pretty good on it. I mean, I haven't found anything that I would call just horribly mishandled. Let's put it that way. The guy I got it from, you know, he's into a lot of stuff, and he can do a lot of good stuff. But yeah, any of these hoses I see, like right here, these are the power steering ones. I believe those are power steering. They're running down to the power steering. While I'm in here, I'm going to replace those hoses with new ones. Why not? And obviously the fan, we're going to put a new fan belt on. But yeah, I got to get all the way, it's hard to see in here, but I got to get all the way down in here. And that pump is actually, right here's the belt. And in front of that's a universal joint, and in front of that's the pump. So the only way to get at that is to remove all this metal off the front. Then I'll have an extreme amount of access to everything. It also bought me a 3/4 inch set of sockets, 1/2 inch sockets, so I can get 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch drive socket set, so I can easily remove those. Somebody had done this, welded these on so somebody could hammer them on, hammer them off. Like not awful, not great either. They did it on both sides, except for one bolt there. So I'll probably knock one of these out and just get me a size and buy me 4 new bolts for that. So anyway, the sun's going down. I don't have light in here. I'm going to work on my wiring, so I have this ready for tomorrow. Man, you can just see I don't know if you guys see that trail there of oil. And there's right about there-ish is a puddle that my wife said was coming out, starting to look a little foamy. That tells you that you're just about empty. And I shut her down because I don't want to run that pump dry, because you run a hydraulic pump dry or any oil pump dry, it's not good. So there again, I must have hit it. But up here, up top, hard to see. this hose that feeds the extender boom. As long as I don't touch that pedal, nothing goes through it. But yeah, that one popped off right there. That's the connection that was loose. Honestly, I probably just broke it off, so I'll actually get some new hose or new extension, and these are going to get new hoses. We're going to drop a couple of coins here, is what I'm saying. The tires alone are expensive. I ended up getting them locally because I looked online, and I could get them online for about $550 a tire, and then pay $345 in shipping. So my local tire place, that's about 7 miles from here, had them in stock, or can have them to me by this Friday. Today is Tuesday. They can have them to me by Friday. Cash and carry, $555 a tire. Front tires, $240 a tire, cash and carry. So almost for what I was going to pay for shipping, I get my front tires for free. No, nothing's free. But, well, there's Big Mo in its surgical bed. Now we're going to go in and do some, hopefully, work that will last me the rest of the summer. If anything else goes on it, it'll be a surprise. There are some other hoses that are more easily accessible, and if they go, my local Napa, I actually bought 12 JIC fittings that fits probably 80% of what's on this tractor. And I already got them on hand. My local Napa, I bought them from them. They also stock them, but they only stock about 6. Well, if I have 4 hoses to replace, that's not enough. So I bought my own 12 of them. So between me and them, I can fix just about anything in a day because they do stock all the hydraulic line. So that's my foresight, and like trying to stay up and running is the goal. Now, you guys might be saying, you're burning a lot of good weather right now. Well, it's February 20th to be exact. So yeah, that'll date this video a little bit, but it's 56 degrees out, February 20th in Iowa. That doesn't happen. And the rest of this week is in the upper 50s. The weekend is going to be almost 60 on Sunday. And then the first 4 or 5 days next week, it's warm. So make hay while the sun's shining, I say. So that's why we're out here doing this. I can be in comfortable clothes, not all bundled up, trying not to freeze. And my hands aren't going to get cold running wrenches. So that's why it was a perfect time for this to break, if there was one. Obviously, I like to be out here doing and working in, but this is like the universe has spoken to me again. It says, Michael, we're going to break you down now and force you to think differently and get all this stuff fixed so you can have a completely productive summer. Yep, sure. That's what we'll go with. That's what we'll tell ourselves, right? All right. Well, Big Mo, sleep tight, buddy. We'll see you in the morning. Nope. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. The fella's got a job to do, and then he gets to come home and do another job, and then there's another job, and no rest for the weary. Let's fix my wiring. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Well, as you can see here, we got the old Ellis bandsaw back in business and working on some more plates. I tried some thicker stuff first, and then I decided to go with these thinner pieces of plate. They were only 1/4 inch thick, but you know, the other stuff I had was 3/8 thick. It was overkill, and I didn't have enough of them. As you can see the layout here, what I'm doing, I'll be welding these plates onto the sides of this piece of angle iron. Now I've got these 2 slugs here that are 2.5 inches, 2.25 inches in diameter. They're gonna represent my ram with this rubber on the outside of it, so I can lay those rubber strips inside there, and I'll be able to protect the ram or the hydraulic cylinder rod from getting any damage from being metal on metal, or if it decides to rust, even though I'm going to paint this, it'll keep from staining the chrome and just messing things up in general. So that's generally how this is going together. As you can see here, it's setting on a couple of V-blocks that I made many moons ago, and we're using those V-blocks to hold my ankle at a perfect working height. These are my blocks here, as you can see. They're about 1.5 by 1.5 inches, roughly. But I'll be able to lay them on there like that. I cut these blocks. Don't be afraid to use wooden blocks as some kind of temporary fixturing device, even if you're welding. It'll just smell like a campfire in the middle of the what is it, the Smoky Mountain Range? Nope. Yep, because there's a lot of pine trees there. Or in the Black Hills of South Dakota, where you can smell campfires. Now what I'm doing is deburring all these pieces. Got to get all the sharp edges off, so your boy here doesn't hurt himself, because he has a propensity to get injured on things, so I have to be extra careful. So much so that when my wife goes away for the weekend, every now and then she calls my son to come babysit me in case I hurt myself. She's always just caring about me though, so I love it. So what we're doing here is we're drilling a 5/16 hole through the center of 12 of these blocks. The 5/16 hole is a tap drill size for a 3/8/16 tap. And that's the size bolt we're going to use, is a 3/8/16 bolt. A little short one, but it'll hold the two pieces together when it's all said and done. So as you can see here, I just got my old machinist vise, toolmaker's vise you call it, clamped down to my table. I use the left edge of it to line it up so I can just do a little production run of drilling these holes. Then I got wise because I thought, well, I can pick up all these chips with my shop vac as I go, since I've got that Stealth Sonic DeWalt shop vac. It's not very noisy at all, and it doesn't irritate me to sit there and run it. And I took the advice from Vice Grip Garage. What's the easiest mess to clean up? Anybody out there know? It's the one you don't make. And here, I need to not make many messes because I'm not good at keeping it nice and clean. Now we're going back in on the second set of 12 blocks with we're 32nd over. Did I go? No, I went a 16th over. No, 32nd. I went a 32nd oversized over the 3/8, and we're drilling a through hole for that. So the 3/8 bolts fits there. I didn't want it to fit too tight because, it just gets hard. Really, really hard to line things up if you just make it all too tight. Here I'm using my little 6-flute deep chamfering tool. I'm just chamfering all my blocks so they have all the edges cleaned up for tapping now this, check this out, guys. Have you ever done this? Fab Rats, Paul at Fab Rats introduced me to this, and I'm like, you gotta be crazy. I've been drilling and tapping holes my entire adult life, and I had no idea that you could get away with using an impact. Now these are the special sockets that I have that hold all the different size taps, but yeah, I'm using an impact driver to tap these holes instead of a regular drill. The impact, I thought for sure this would shatter them. I tried it a couple times, but the taps seem to hold up okay, and it drives them right on through there. Now what you see here is I'm using a special spiral point gun tap, it's called. So it's not a taper tap, it's not a bottoming tap, it's right in the middle, and you can see it's got flutes that just drive the chips on through. Works really good. We're putting the plates together now. I'm bolting them together using my lump impact to kind of just in the bench to hold them flat. Just kind of, rattle them down just a little bit just to hold them together. That's all they need to do. Nothing more than that. Now, I've cut 3 blocks that were the right height. And I've drilled these holes here so I can put, you see it, the bolt right down in there so it sits flush and wiggles around a little bit. It's going to hold all my parts at the right height so I can weld them in place. But they are, I'm so used to using old metal and recycled metal, I gotta sand all the paint off of them first so I get a good clean weld. If you try to burn through the paint, you can, but it's a stinky mess. Your welds don't come out as nice, it doesn't burn as clean. So we're sanding the edges on all the painted surfaces, all the surfaces I'm gonna weld, sanding that free, and it'll tack weld and weld so much better. Let's take our little project and bring it back over to the weld bench. Place these right on top just like that. See all the nice cleanly sanded surface there? That's going to work perfect. The reason I chose 3 on each one is the middle. You can put one on each end, that seems to be good, but if you don't have the support in the middle, the thing could bow out on you and just open right up under pressure. So this gives me my best chance. I'm putting this one 1.5 inches from the end, putting these in the middle. These are 36-inch pieces, which is 18 inches, and then we'll get that all laid out. Measure twice, weld once, or in my case, measure twice, weld again, cut it off, weld it again, in case you screw it up. Once I get all those dudes in position, checking it again, getting it just so.
And this puts it right in the middle, and I'm only welding on the top side. I'm not welding on the inside. There's not really much need to. As once they're bolted together, it's almost like they're both welded on both sides anyway. So we'll go ahead and tack them in place. Once I tack the top sides all together, I flip it over and I weld the bottom side on. Now here's some shots of me welding. Now you can see the method I'm using right now is just a back and forth sweeping pass. I see a lot of people do like a big circle because they make it look like a stack of dimes. I think that looks okay. It's nice and decorative, but this weld is just as solid and it actually comes out just a little bit smoother. But to each his own. After that, it's time to wire wheel the welds just to get the, let's just call it the splatter and the burn smoke off of it, because we're going to shoot these with some paint. I want the paint to stick everywhere. Now here I'm using my little bit bigger cup wheel and to clean it all up. Works pretty good. I'm still using the V-blocks to hold the part in place. Now it's time to clean my bench off. I took my file over the whole bench, got the weld splatter off of it, and need to wipe it down before we do our next step. I always use simple green, cleaning all my stuff off. It smells good, cleans good, it's a good degreaser.
Alrighty folks, we got one of those put together. Here it is. I've got the rubber on the inside, and it's going to go on this cylinder right here. And these two cylinders are tied together by this beam here. Well, that's crazy how thin that sounds, but how thick the weld is on here. But that would actually keep it from twisting. I only bought enough rubber. I miscalculated. I just miscalculated. I bought a 10-foot roll, and I thought 120 inches divided by 12, because I thought I needed 12 pieces, is 10 inches each. I needed twice that much. So my other one doesn't have anything on it yet. So we're just going to put the one in for now, because one is better than none. And one would hold it, to be honest with you. But the bad part is I got to fire this machine up one more time, because it did settle down. I had it all the way up. It did settle. So I got to fire it up. I hate to fire it up. I did put a lot more oil in it. Had to. But I fired it up. I got to fire it up to raise that back up. And then, but I just, it hurts me to fire it up and not warm it up. But I also can't run that pump dry for very long at all. Well, the pump's not dry. I put oil in it. Let's see if she'll fire. Come on, baby. That's got to be hard on things. I don't like it, guys. I don't. But it is what it is, what it is. Now, can I get that slid in there? Ho, ho, ho. I don't know. Just does sneak in there. Whew. Honestly, it could have been, and I can always saw it off. It could have been an inch or so shorter without any problem. Don't kid yourself about these weights. They are all there. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. There's our oil tank. We're gonna get these weights. All right, we got our work cut out for us here, that's for sure. All right, folks, we're back out here. It's after dark, as you can see behind me here. We've got some light out here in the lean-to, but it's not a lot of light. We got like 4 LED bulbs, except for one right up here I knocked out with the backhoe. And so I went and bought me some new bulbs, some bigger, better ones, and hopefully they are okay with the videography here and doesn't have this like high intensity flicker. Let's plug one in and see what happens. So one might ask themselves is, what kind of bulb do you buy when you only have 4 out in the whole building here that we're working in to give us enough light? And I don't know if this is going to be, you know, a joke or any good. This is one of those fan out lights, you know, blip, blip, blip. And they rotate around. They can do all kinds of directional stuff. Which way's up? Why does it have a speaker? Hello, light. These are supposed to be daylight bright. We'll see. I'll probably be blind. It's gonna blow me off the ladder. Is it gonna work? Whoa! Don't look directly into that. What happened? Well, that's pretty darn bright. Holy smokes. Yeah. I believe it. I can't complain about that light. That's just one. So looking at what this is, these are some Fiat, F-E-I-T. I've used these in my shop. I've got 18 300 watt equivalent. Now this one's supposed to be a 400 watt, uses 65 watts worth of electricity, 8,000 lumens, 8,000. But yeah, that's a bright white. I like that. Thought I was going to be disappointed, but I'm not. They're not cheap either. These were like 33 bucks a piece. But life, 20,000 hours. Let's put the rest in and see how they look. Yep, I'm going to put you over here as we're doing it. No, maybe I'll put you, I don't know where to put you. Maybe I'll set you back out here. How does that look from a distance here? Yeah, it's definitely a lot more intense right there. I'm going to set you back out here in the boat and see as I change them. I don't know what size the ones that are in there. They were just enough to give me light, you know. So it wasn't dark out here. But now that I'm going to try to work out here, I want it to be a little more intense. And by golly, that's what it's giving me. I got to figure out what this speaker is in the middle. Hello, light. Come in, light. Light Bright Nation. Wait, that's another channel. All right, I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna go back up here, flip these things around so I can make sure. Yeah. There, it's up there getting tight now. Oh, man, talk about seeing dots. Don't stare directly into the sun. You'll go blind. All right. Hello, Big Mo. I'm going to shine some light upon you. Now I see why they have them turned this way so you can flip them out and screw it in, then flip it around one by one. Hold on to that for me, Big Mo. There we go. I wonder why they go on and off like that. It's like they got to get warmed up. Or what's the deal? Lord help you, boy, if you read the instructions. What were these? So 1,600 lumens was what these were versus 8,000 lumens. Yeah. Let's get this last one. Then we'll go back on the other end and get the first one. These are still good bulbs. They're still working. I'll find somewhere else on the property to use them. But if I can get that much light out of running, you know, let's say just 3 or 4 65-watt bulbs, I can't be mad at that. Nope. And I did put what I would call good porcelain sockets up here when I installed these because I wanted them to last. Yep. Gives you the illusion that something's wrong with them because they flash, but then they work. I definitely don't want to get accidentally. Wow, that's like daytime. I need these on the other side of Big Mo. It's like I need to over there. But between this and some side lights, I think I give you guys enough light to see what's going on out here. It's lighting up half the yard. Yeah, that looks crazy bright through the camera. It's crazy bright right here. Well, I ain't hiding nothing around here. I got one left to do down here on the very end. Let's get it. Let's get it, boys. I gotta put my ladder up over the metal pile of death. We don't want to fall on that. Nope. That would hurt a lot. Then we can really rip into Mo here and make some, make some headway, I think. Let's see here. Yep, we'll set it precariously on that. That should work. Yep, won't fall off on there. All right, little buddy. You done a good job. Now we're going to retire you. Oh, so dark over here. Ka-chow, 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 ka-chow. All right. What's going on here? You too can cross through the light bulb if you try hard enough. There we go. There we are. Ow, sharp edge. At least I can come out here and while I'm waiting on parts for a big mow, when I get to that point, I can start cleaning up that mess because that stall still needs the manure taken out of it and rock hauled in. Wowee. That looks pretty good. I think that'll work. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's like it's nighttime out here. See how much light's casted out this way? And it's daytime in here. All right. I'm kind of curious if they blink like that when you turn them on every time now. Let's set the old ladder out of the way. All right. Let's tiptoe over the steel pile here. All right, it's going to drive the camera crazy, but oh, they got a little glow to them. All right, all the glow is out. All you can hear is the sound of my voice. And I lost the light switch in the dark. Here we go. What happened? Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with what it just did there. If it has anything to do with the fact that I've got 12 gauge wire running, let's call it 210 feet underground, 210 feet lengthwise, but running underground. And I know there's low amperage. Got volts are fine for the amperage draw, but these things shouldn't draw too much amperage. But that could be the circuitry in there. Huh. 1,000% brighter than a 60-watt bulb. How about that? Daylight bright, 5,000K. One bulb. Energy estimate cost, $7.83 per year. Guessing that's under average usage. Let's see here. What? So it turns on. I didn't know this feature. Is this really going to work? Turns on when it detects motion. Turns off after 5 motion-free minutes. Senses motion up to 30 feet away. Huh. My cats will be turning this on and off all night. But I can also turn the switch off. But I do kind of like the idea that if I walk out here, bloop, bloop. Huh. Well, hang on to the boxes for now. because the warranty and such. The warranty is from defects. Now, I did have something happen in my shop once, and we'll get busy on Mo here in a minute, or in the next clip. I had some 200 watt equivalent bulbs in there. In my first half of the shop, when I wired it up, that was 9 bulbs, and then I did on the second half of the shop, I'm like 300 watt equivalent. So they weren't cheap a couple years ago when I did this. Probably been 3. Wow, no, it's been more than that. It's probably been 4+ years ago now since I did that. And I came in one day and all the 200 watters pooped. All of them were out. And I unscrewed them, screwed in another bulb, and it worked fine. The socket was fine, but all the bulbs went, yeah, bad. I don't know if it took a surge and why it hit that circuit, not all my lights are on the same circuit, but why it didn't hit the other 300 watters, I don't know. So I had to buy 9 more 300 watters to the tune of a lot of dollars each. And lo and behold, I haven't had any trouble since. But it made me nervous because these things aren't cheap. This was $140 for 4. Yeah, 148, I think. It was like $33 each. But pick up as we go. But, there again, my lights are on in the shop a decent amount, and they've gone, I'll have to go back and look at my videos. I know over 4 years ago I did that, at least 4 years ago. I do know that it was 60,000 miles ago on my car, because that's when I had finished all the walls and did the transmission on my Impala 60,000 miles ago. So that's got to be 4+ years, I'm pretty sure. Probably going on 5. And they're still all working. So is it worth the money? Sure. Let's say it is. All right. Well, let me show you what we got going on here now that we're all done playing light bright. So I'm kind of curious. Look at that. It just happened. That far one went out. Now we're walk up on it. It comes back on. Interesting. That could be a pain in the butt, or it could be... Actually, I don't mind it because I have a habit of walking off, and these things will shut off automatically. I kind of dig it. We'll see. We'll see if it's like, I'm underneath the tractor and all the lights went out and I can't see anything. So anyway, what I've got going on here so far is I've got the side weights off, got the grill off. I got my floor jack on a piece of OSB here, and we're going to be, it's still holding a lot of weight there. I got to pull these bolts out, and that weight on the bottom is, I think they were claiming around 300 pounds. And I know if those side ones these here are about 110 to 20 pounds each, which they're all that. I picked up 2 of them over there already. That I got to have something to support that one while I back these bolts out. Now, the other thing I went and bought myself is I didn't have an adapter to go from 1/2 inch to 3/4 to drive my 3/4 inch socket set that I have here, which is now also holding my light bulbs. But this will allow me to be able to back these off, and then I can zippity-doo them out with my 1/2 inch impact, and then I'll be able to also, I'll be able to also put them back in nicely and efficiently. But in here, I can start to see, right here is my hydraulic pump. So once I get the weights out of here, I'm going to I think I'm going to have to pull this out next, because I'll be able to get my goal is to get the side cover off. Once I have the side cover off and I can deburr this, because it's like somebody beat this with a hammer for whatever reason. It's taking a lot of abuse. But I'll be able to get that cooler out, and then I'll remove the tank, and then I can get to the pump and everything in front of the pump. I'm probably going to pull the radiator, because I want to, let's go around on the lighter side. because I want to be able to access the water pump and the fan belt. So I want to replace that. It's one of those situations that while I'm in here, I want to go ahead and fix things, and I don't want to touch them again for a long time. That's my goal. That's why I'm going to spend a little bit extra time, a little bit of money, and see if I can get a lot of things fixed that is old, that I don't have to visit it again for a long, long time. That's my goal. All right. Well, let's see. I put this brace under here. I'm guessing things have settled down a little bit. Yep. That's tight. That ain't wiggling anywhere now. Looks like it's holding itself in place. That's going to keep that from crushing me. What I am going to do is I want to get the other one and put it on here. I'll finish it up because I got the rubber strips for it. Showed up today. We'll put it on. I'm going to shorten it up a little bit so that, let's just say, I'm going to shorten both of them up eventually, but I can't start this up again. I'm not going to anyway. I almost wonder if I should put some guards. There's some material you can put over these hoses because they're going to rub against things, and it'll help take the wear of the rubbing. All right. Well, some nights you don't get a lot done. Some nights you run errands and you get yourself some lights so you can continue to work, because I can comfortably work out here now without having any dark spots except for what's under the light, blocking the light. But I feel comfortable working out here and being able to see things. I feel comfortable with you guys being able to see what I'm doing, because honestly, it almost looks, when I look through the camera, it looks like brighter on the camera than it does me looking at it, but it is pretty bright. So was it worth the investment? Sure, I think so. The motion part of it's going to be awesome. Now, some of you had made a comment about put inner tubes in these tires and, run them for a long time. Well, what I have a problem with is the inner tube will keep it inflated, but also the stress that these tires can be under with the full weight of the tractor rolling around, because these tires are rated to hold 5,800 pounds each. And the tractor weighs 11,400 pounds. And I tell you what, when you don't have the bucket on it, it's a balancing point back here for weight. So you could literally have almost all 11,000 pounds on those back tires. And if you're on a hillside a little bit and that sidewall decides to give out, tear, that inner tube has no integrity to hold that tire together. It's just going to keep it inflated as a big bulge sneaks out the side, blows the tire, and could be a catastrophic blowout at that point. So that's why I think it's important for me to have good tires on this thing, and especially front tires and back tires, for my own personal safety. All right. Well, tune back in tomorrow night, and we'll get some progress made on this and see how heavy those weights really are and see how deep into this we can get. My goal is to get it all tore down by tomorrow night or the night after. For you guys, it's only going to be a few minutes of video. And let's see where that leak's coming from and get it fixed, along with the other stuff. All right. See you in a minute. All right, folks, we're back out here the next night after getting the lighting installed. I do have the lights on now. As the lights, the natural sun starts to go down, these lights will come up. Keep the picture quality decent? I don't know. But the wind is blowing at a gabillion miles an hour, and the limbs are rumbling on the back of the building. Let me know I got to do some tree cutting back there. We got the big DeWalt out here. Let's see what we can take off of here. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Whoa. That got loose. Yup. That's holding on by a bolt or two. Let's see what it does on this end. Okay. Little never sees on these wouldn't hurt. tell you what. Now what's going to come flopping off on me here? Whoa. All right. Now, will that bottom weight drop or not? Oh yeah. Kerchow. That was nice to see that happen. All right, now just get these side ones off. At least we're seeing how it comes apart. Kerdonk. Oh, that's a tight one. Oh, that's a tight one. There's a bolt behind here that's gigantic, which is probably holding up this other weight. Is it really? Yeah, these bolts need replaced. They got some serious rubbage going on. What about this side? What's going to happen over here? Came right out. Kabam! So what's holding that in? Golly, that's a lot of cast. A lot of cast. This here is a big old chunk, wraps all the way around. But I think if I take, nope, do I? Do I dare? Let's just see. I'll pull that off. Yup. Now this bolt here is stuck at level 10. Let's see if I can get my long handle. Sucky part's going to be lifting this back up in place. Don't you know? Oh. All right, I think the impact will move it better now. Have a feel I'm gonna have to run a tap up into some of these. Get the threads nice and restored. Give me some new hardware. Hey, we didn't lose a finger. And then okay. That's all loose. Except for what's holding the tank in. Just see if I can. Oh my gosh. We might just see if we can work around some of these instead of picking them up, and so hopefully I can get this front off. Well, if the wind don't take my building away first. Goodness. Wind is whipping. I think if I unbolt the tank here, I can get some more stuff done. My question is, will this hood lift straight off of here? And I can use that lifting hook right there and, you know, whoopity-doo-dah, and ratchet strap it out of there. Come along, ratchet strap. Why couldn't I? Looks like it'd go straight up and out of the way. I don't see any other hardware holding it. That'll give me access to a lot of stuff. I'm pretty sure this is to lock it. But it sure seems like a great lifting point, doesn't it? Oh, here we go. This might be just crazy enough to work. Oh. Great. I think the other hood's gonna have this trapped. It's a trap. I don't think this will come out far enough, will it? Won't it? Can it? Don't it? Oh yeah. There's enough, what in the heck? Guess I'll go ahead and pull the head off, or the hood off, yep. Dang. The wind, it's only 63 degrees out, I say only, that's plenty warm. But with that wind cutting through there, I was actually getting chilled in my short sleeve shirt, so I got this jacket on, and now I'm almost a little too warm. Okay, in order to get that off, I gotta take the exhaust off. Setting the fuel cap over here, remind me that it's right there. This was a wrestling match before. I remember. It wasn't long enough ago for me to forget. One side will pop down. There's just not a awesome way to get on it. But you know what I could do? Let's use the overhead hoist to hold this side up for me. Eh? We'll go clear down here, because it has a tendency to want to fall back down on me. Oh, just don't slide off of there. Oh, you're gone too anyway, aren't you? There we go. We'll put you in the notch. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's that other hand I've been wanting to haul along right there. Woohoo! All right, come on. Why you gotta be so stubborn? Oh yeah, oh my third hand let go. Now. That's me winning. Yeah, all my fingers are still there. Sweet. Oh. Ha. Why would you feed a hose through something like that so you can't get the nose off, huh? So right here, this line right here goes right up in there and then goes right down, on down, wraps around. Goes right through that wall there, right up here, and right into the top of the oil tank. Right there. So now I have to be careful not to get any garbage. I guess what I could do, it's still hooked. I'm leaving the tank behind. I can take the hose with me. Okay, I think I got it here. We'll just disconnect it clear back here or here. And that way that all goes up with the tank. But I want to leave the tank behind. The whole idea is to get this out of my way so I can work on the pump and stuff behind it and get this cooler out and the tank out of the way. Well, all these hoses need replaced, so I'm thinking if I just cut that one and take that bolt loose in there, that holds the radiator in. No rubber around it or nothing for protection. I think it might just be crazy enough to work, provided I disconnect that hose right there. I think this is one of those situations where I'm gonna have to invite my son over and feed him some food when we go to put this back on. But yeah, it's working. I'm swinging it out. Yippers. Now what? Widowmaker, Widowmaker, how far can you fall? Tractor hoods high. If it hit me, I could die. Widowmaker, Widowmaker, please don't kill me tonight. All right. Well, it's... Yep. Now what? This might be just crazy enough to work, but if I took a rope or another strap and went around my little beam over there, 2x4, which is plenty strong, and hooked it up, I could slowly let it down and let it swing over there. I think we need another strap. Yep, sir. Okay. And this is only because it's awkward. But yeah, if I hook it right there, or maybe right out here. Woohoo! Walking the edge of crazy town now. Welcome to Crazy Town. I'll go right over here. Yep, and I just... Yep, here we go. If I hook onto here, let's get closer so it can fall right on me. Yep, knock me clear off the ladder. That's just crazy enough to work. That's what I do. I can pull her over this way. I'm already taking some slack off of things. You know, when you just tickle yourself because something works, That's what's going on here. Yeah, this is what the dangly heck is going on here. Now, if I release this, what's going to happen? I'm thinking it's just going to swing this away, and I'll be okay. I don't want to be in the line of fire, though. Ah, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Yes! I am the master of my own universe. Da 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 da! Well, let's let that swing there for a while. All right, now we got access to stuff. Oh yeah. There's the pump from this side. We can take the radiator out. These must be transmission cooler lines. I'm taking it here. So I want to be careful with those. Yepers. Honestly can't believe I got that off of there by myself like that. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I will get it to the ground here. Even if I have to go get my come along and just like shh. Because there's no good way to let it down. But if I was putting this back on, I'd probably use my ratchet strap up there still, hang my come along from it. That way I could actually have some control. And I'll probably still do that, but I'll have somebody helping me. But for now, how much oil is in the tank? So nasty. I can't wait to make it all clean. So I'm putting it back together. I'm not in fear of dumping a bunch of garbage and where I don't want it. Yeah, she's still got oil in it. Does it have a drain? Be really cool if it did. Why would it have a drain? Well, I think if I undid this line here, it would drain out there. I'm not trying to save that oil because it's going to be what I would consider heavily contaminated. I don't have a big enough wrench. I got to go get my big adjustable. All right, here's what we got so far. We got her down to the pumps right there. I'm going to take the pump loose, and then with the two bolts that hold it in place, then I think I can get this hose off, and the pump is out of there. So one of these two lines here, they're the ones that split on me. But I got to get the radiator out of the way. There's a bolt under here and a bolt under here to get that out. I would really love to get this out of the way so I can reach under there comfortably and get those bolts out. And yeah, then we'll be able to, we'll be back to the front of the engine, which will be really, really nice, right? So, but yeah, this is what it looks like now. It looks kind of naked on the front end now. But I'm gonna work on that. We'll check back in when I get a little deeper in. Well, she's a long ways apart now. Had a stubborn bolt here. I think I destroyed my radiator getting that bolt out. Or getting that off, but I wanted to put a new radiator on anyway just because. But there's a lot of cleaning up I want to do. We're going to go ahead and get this belt off. Probably going to replace the water pump. Not worried about the alternator. I can get to that anytime. And but yeah, we got a lot of cleaning up. There's a lot of nastiness in there. I got my JIC fitting plugs on all my hoses here to keep things clean and trouble-free. Yeah, we got a lot of degreasing to do. That's going to be a monkey mess for sure. Oh my goodness. But I got Ziploc bags all over all the openings to keep varmints and stuff out. both over there on the rack and over here. Well, that's the teardown, folks. I'm not going to bore you with the cleaning. We're just going to get after it with some scrub brushes, some simple green, some purple power, some super clean, you know, all kinds of stuff. We got to get that cleaned off. I can't work on it dirty. I got pretty filthy taking it apart. There's no reason to wrestle around in the mud, putting it back together. So yeah, a lot of degreasing going to go on. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been quite the ordeal tearing it apart, but had a lot of fun doing it. It's been a learning experience. Let's call it that. I don't mind working on stuff. I'd rather be using it than working on it, but I think everything I'm going to do to this thing is going to make this all together better, so I don't have to go back into it again in the future. At least not for a long ways into the future. And then I'll probably use this video to watch it to know how I took it apart again. But yeah, we got the weights down here. I'm going to have to move that weight out of the way so when I clean it, I don't have garbage going all over my floor jack. And I may need my floor jack before I get this back together, because right now it's going to be analyzing parts, seeing what I can get, find, buy. And I wish I could buy it all right away, but you know, got to wait till the funds build up, for the big Mo funds, for sure. All right. Well, the lights have been helpful. As you can see, it's dark out, and I didn't have to work in the dark. I'm going to take my little rechargeable light in, and we're going to recharge that bad boy, so it's ready to go. I got one like this and a couple of big ones. These do a lot of good when you're trying to magnetize and hold them in place and do some things. It's got I don't know if you can see it here. When it's off, on, got 3 levels of brightness, so you can actually, yeah, we're going to get that water pump out of there. We're going to scrub that block up. There's a lot of, what is that? That's the thermostat, looks like, maybe. Anyway, we're going to clean up a lot of stuff on here. No sense in putting it back together nasty. There's a lot of what I would call oil moisture that has a lot of, I used to call it Harley dust. It'd be seeping just enough to collect dirt, but not ever enough to drip on the old Harleys. The new stuff's much different, obviously. All right, this is Michael saying if it ain't broke, which it was, fix it till it is. And we'll see you on the next video. Hopefully it'll be about this, but it'll definitely be about something. I appreciate you guys watching and following along. Thank you for subscribing, all you that have subscribed. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you so much for the comments.